Red Ice Radio. Nice to have you with us. My name is Henrik, and this is Internet Talk Radio, broadcasted from the west coast of Sweden, up in Scandinavia. We are here on Thursdays and Sundays. You can find more information about our radio program, our webcasts, our news section, our member section, and much more on our website, RedIceCreations.com. That's REDICE Creations.com. And today we have Sonia Barrett back with us on the program. Sonia, of course, is the author of the holographic canvas. And today we are going to begin to talk a little bit about immortality, life extension, and the quest, if you will, for eternal life, and much more. Sonia, as you might know from last time we had her on, has a few websites of her own that you can take a look at. Spiritinform.com. She also does her own radio program where you can find more about that on sovereignmindradio.com, and also take a look at newcorporatebody.com. I will of course have these links up on redicecreations.com as well, so you can find them more easily and click through via our website. Welcome back to the program, Sonia. It's great to have you with us again.
Thank you so much. I'm just delighted that you have asked me to come back. And I also want to say, first thing, you have great listeners, and I really want to thank them. I was amazed at the response and just beautiful emails that I received, and the curiosity about much of the topics that were discussed that day. So I want to thank them, and I made a couple of friends.
That's good. That's the way we like it. That's the purpose of this. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Sonia. And I know I'm communicating all the time with many of our listeners, and it's a very very nice bunch that we have out there, and we're very glad that so many people are tuning in. So it's great. Absolutely. And, Sonia, I just want to check with you here at the beginning as well. You'll be attending the Conspiracy Conference this year, isn't that right?
Right. Yes, I'll be speaking at the Conspiracy Conference this year. And I'm also speaking at another conference, which I just found out about. I was just asked. That's in Mount Shasta. That is the UFO and I think ancient mysteries. But I can't remember the exact time. But anyway, it's on my website, conference, and it's every year as well. So I'm speaking at both those conferences.
Nice. Well, we might see each other if that happens to be the case then at Conspiracy Con, because we'll be attending there and be there at ourselves here from Red Ice. So we might hook up there. We'll see.
Yes, I'll be there for sure. So
very good. Excellent. Well, okay, Sonia, I know last time we primarily talked about a lot of things last time, but primarily we focused around, the holographic model, basically, of reality. We talked about your book, the holographic canvas and so forth. And prior to this show, we talked a little bit about going into the subject of immortality as being one of the subjects that I think a few of our listeners contacted you about and asked to know more about. Is this specifically something that you've gone into in your book, or have you just been interested in this as a kind of side issue?
Actually, the entire book, when you read the entire book, you see that that's what the information is unfolding into, because the whole gamut of life, of everything that we're dealing with, is leading to that one thing. And that's what's so interesting, is the fact that, yes, the entire book really goes through that, because I've talked to other people who have read the book and then they finally get it. Of course, yes, there are chapters in there dedicated to that, but pretty much every chapter is touching on it, is showing you how these blinders have distracted you and how these programs have definitely thrown you off your memory, your course of memory, which was still essential. The memory loss was still an essential thing. Do you want me to go further on it, or did you want to?
Well, absolutely, but I guess we can even begin to define it in regards to immortality, if we're talking about a spiritual or a physical immortality.
Well, what we're speaking of is we're talking about both. We're talking about a physical immortality, but as I'm always saying, at the same time, it's not really about being stuck in, I shouldn't say stuck, but being in your body as you see it before you today. Because your body is really, again, a system. It's a vehicle, just as we speak of the Matrix, or we speak of Earth. And I, of course, defined the Matrix as being just a system, a concept, a construct by which whatever is within that particular structure would operate. Well, the body itself, you can see it as a matrix, a system itself, but it is actually a vehicle by which you as a being would be able to operate in this reality. So that vehicle, in essence, is not completely activated, and it hasn't been completely activated because of the fact that we are here. We've basically been here in this reality to process or to experience life from the angle of feelings, just, going through a processing of feelings, of emotions. And so the body is designed to operate based on electrochemical impulses, which are your emotions. And emotions then, when we talk about it in that manner, are the results of our interaction with each other and with whatever we interact with. It's the results of that interaction. And the results of that interaction is what we define as how we feel. And how we feel, the outcome of that carries its own vibration. That's why you say whether something is good or bad. So it's very polarized. And out of that polarity, of course, comes a continuous judgment of everything.
Yes.
So with that being understood in the fact that we operate based on the judgment of everything, which is how we feel if something is good or bad, all of those things become the focus, and then the body then begins to operate on this autopilot mode because of these stored the stored results, then the data that's gathered from every experience. We've had enough of them, so many of them, of course, because we're like a computer, that everything you do for, I can't even count how many thousands or possibly millions of years, are being determined based on this storage of data from the experiences that you've had. Hence, what we have from that then is what we call the karmic process. The karmic process then comes into play because then we end up with circumstances and conditions that are unresolved, and we tend to need to somehow resolve them. So what we've got determining life, or the way life is played out, is based on what we call destiny, fate, karma, reincarnation. Those things have been working together to determine your journey. And so that has become your course. The concept of immortality then is completely out the door because you're so busy in the survival of all of that. But I'm talking about the body and the transitioning of the body, but that cannot occur until we have evolved past that level of experiencing life on a feeling mode, on the judgment mode. Because once you shift out of that, it's not that you're not feeling, but you're operating more on the understanding of resonance. So it's what's resonating as opposed to something being good or bad. It's just what resonates. And as you shift, you are no longer operating from that same ego space, which then completely shifts and changes the way we think. And I can go on and on with that, but I want to stop in case you have a question in there.
Well, what I'm reminded of a little bit when you're talking about these modes that people end up in, if we talk about that in terms of psychology, you're basically describing the different archetypes, if you will, that almost like this energy that is reaching out through the human beings, through the human collective unconscious, if you will, and we end up kind of working in favor, if you will, of some of these archetypes. One might identify with a more, shall we say, violent archetype. One might be more, there's different modes out there. And I guess what you're saying is also that the longer we are in a way communicating with these or working with these archetypes, the stronger they're becoming in a way. So it also